Alright guys, welcome back to Death from Above 40k. We've got a bit of space puppy loving today. So, a bit of thoughts and things that I've been reading up on the Space Wolves. We don't have a supplement yet, kind of in the same territory as the Blood Angels. We do have the new Space Marine Codex, which gives us a bit of an indication of where some things go and whatnot. This list here is something I've put together at 1500 points using a lot of the models that I already was using, and a lot of them have gotten better and for different reasons. This will come in at it's a battalion, so it'll have its 12 command points. It's got quite the variety of things. So just in the list to start with, we got Ragnar, we've got Grey Hunters, Primaris Intercessors, we've got Blood Claws, 2 sets of Long Fangs. We've got a Wolf and Dreadnought, we've got Bjorn the Fell-Handed, and then we've got a 5-man unit of Thunderwolf Cav at the back. Obviously, this army benefits from Hunters Unleashed, which is characters get a 6-inch heroic intervene, which is really handy once you see it sort of unfold on the battlefield. It's quite the distance to be able to jump in and clobber someone on the head, and it also allows them, when they are charged or heroically intervene, that's always a mouthful, they get +1 to their hit. So they're really accurate in combat. If a unit charges in, most of the time they're hitting on 2s, and then you've got someone like this guy around re-rolling 1s. You're pretty much landing all your hits, which I think is a good army-wide trait, and it makes sense. It allows you to get those chainsword hits in there. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll go through each of the units in the army, why I've added them in, and what I think of them. One thing I will say at the moment though, a lot of the really good stratagems for Space Wolves that were sort of in the main codex are sort of up in the air now. But don't stress too much. I'm sure that the expansions will be right around the corner. So anyway, we'll go through the units, and I'll get back to you in just a tick. Alright guys, let's start with the 2 HQ choices that have been picked for the army. So we'll start with Ragnar. So I made my own Ragnar. If it'll focus there. Whoop. Feel free to do what you want, buy one, make one. It's a pretty easy little conversion, but it's up to you guys. Anyway, he's what I like to call the beat stick that can't take a hit. So he gets in there and he can smack the absolute crap out of stuff. He's got a whopping amount of attacks. So he comes in like your normal sort of Primaris captains, hits on 2s, toughness 4, strength 4, 6 wounds, that kind of jazz, 3-up save. He's got a bolt pistol, nothing to write home about. His close combat weapon, Frostfang, is quite tasty. So that's a +2 strength and AP4 flat 2 damage. Now that's pretty bloody good, really. So it makes him strength 6, AP4 is really nice, flat 2 damage. You can't complain about that. That's good damage output. He gets a few different things that make him pretty cool and stand out from your normal captains, and it's all about special rules with these characters. So he gets Battle Lust, which is an aura, which makes any units within 6 of him, core units that is, so dreadnoughts, bikes, and your troop sort of choices, they can, when they consolidate, move an extra 3 inches. So if you've cleaned out a unit, charged in with him, you got all your close combat units around him, you clear out a unit, he allows them to make a really large move forward, 6 inches instead of 3. It makes a massive difference. So you're really sort of getting forward into the enemy lines. He's got a 4-up invulnerable save, same as most other captains. He's got Berserk Rage, so this is where he gets choppy as shit. He gets 3 additional attacks instead of 1 due to his Shock Assault ability. So that means when he charges in, he's getting 10 attacks, which is, if you've seen any of my battle reports before, he's brutal. He runs in, 10 attacks, hitting on 2s. If he's fighting other infantry, he's usually wounding on either 3s or 2s if they're toughness 3, and just slices through them with that AP4 and 2 wounds. It's absolutely brutal. He's got Rites of Battle, so normal captain stuff. You can re-roll hit rolls of 1 within 6 of him if you're a core unit. And his last one is Warhowl, which is another aura. Space Wolves core units within 6 can re-roll charges made for the unit. So he's sort of he makes your army quite quick for your infantry and everything, because, you know, you're running up the board, shooting, whatever you want to do. You're charging in, re-rolling those charges to get in, chopping units down, and then being able to consolidate forward quite far. So that's sort of his little, you know, buffs moving forward. It's really good. So take him. He's a beat stick, but as I said, he cannot take hits. When he gets hit back, he crumbles pretty quickly. But that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. Put him in positions where he's doing the most damage and not getting hit back, you'll go far with him. All right, next up, we got Bjorn, the fell-handed, the big lad, his true claw. He's in it, he loves it. So, what do we got him? I armed mine with twin las cannon and underslung heavy flamer. I think it's a good way to go. You know, Bjorn is another absolute beat stick, but that's Space Wolves. Space Wolves are, in my opinion, always the most choppy marine chapter. I just think that's how it is. I have noticed they've reduced his movement. He was movement 8, he's now movement 6, but he still hits on 2s, you know, in combat and shooting. He's toughness 8 for a dreadnought, which is really good. And he now gets Duty Eternal as well. And Bjorn also has like a Feel No Pain roll. So being toughness 8, minusing a wound off, and getting a Feel No Pain roll now is quite hectic. He was already hard to remove off the battlefield before. It'll be interesting to see how he goes now. He gets 5 attacks with his True Claw, which his True Claw is brutal as well. So it's +5 strength, so makes him strength 12. It's AP 4 and it's D6 damage. So same as Ragnar, you slicing through things, no problem. But you can re-roll the wound roll, so it's really handy. So being strength 12 and re-rolling the wound roll, most things you're wounding on 2s and 3s, and then you're getting a re-roll, so you're crunching things. It's brutal. He also, like I said, I give him the twin las cannon. Now in this edition, they don't suffer the penalty for moving or shooting. It's really nice. So he's hitting on 2s while he's making his way up the board. Gives you some good anti-tank. Heavy flamers, pretty easy, you know, straightforward. As I said, he's got the Duty Eternal now. The Legendary Tenacity is what his Feel No Pain is called, which is the 5-up, you know, ignores wounds. And he has the same as Ragnar with the rights of battle, re-rolling hit rolls are 1. So, you know, across the board, having the both of them, you're getting good re-rolls. So, pretty much, both of them are just absolute beat sticks in combat. Both of them support the army really well. Get them in there, crush heads. All right, we'll move on now to the troops choices and why we've chosen them. Or why I've chosen them. I don't know why I'm saying we, it's only me here. All right. Alright guys, here are our troops choices. So we got 3 of, and I've mixed it up. It's very varied in this army, but I'm just going to straight out say I'm just going to start with it. So I think, personally, I'll move these forward a bit. Grey Hunters, as they are now, I think will be the strongest Space Marine troops choice moving forward. Just saying, that's my opinion, putting it out there. Less GW changes something that ruins them in the new release for Space Wolves. I can't say it. The reason why now is they're 2 wounds, so you know they're up with the Primaris Marines and stuff like that. They're the bolt gun, but they can all carry a chainsword as well. So yeah, it's just taking them with just bolters and chainswords, having 2 wound units is just absolutely amazing. Like that means, you know, you're sitting on objectives, blowing things away. Then if stuff comes near, you're chopping the crap out of them, and with the chapter trait, you know, getting +1 to hit when things charge, it just makes them even more brutal. And the Astartes Chainsword is now AP 1. You know, mate, I'm putting it out there. That's just my opinion. The other thing that makes them good too is, keep going with the Grey Hunters, is being able to add the Terminator in. So they're 3 wounds now. This one's just run simply with Power Fist and Stormbolter. It's pretty straightforward, but makes a great addition to the unit. So in this unit, we've got Plasma Gun, Power Fist on this guy, and a Power Fist on this guy. Everyone's got either bolt guns and chainswords. So it makes her a really versatile unit. Can fight anything in combat, can sit in a shootout, and now with 2 wounds a pop and 3 on the Terminators, really brutal. really good troops choice. Hopefully they keep it that way because that's what makes Space Wolves as well. That bit of variety in troops choices and their wolf packs. Next up, we've got a unit of Blood Claws. Now, also another fantastic unit now because once again, getting the 2 wounds and chainswords are better now. And these guys get 2 attacks on the charge. So, you know, your basic Blood Claw is he's got his 1 wound, but then 1 for his to start his chainsword, and then when he charges, he gets 2. So that's really good. So it's 4 attacks apiece, hitting on 2s. If you're near something, re-rolling, and obviously you get the AP1. Then when it gets to the combat phase, you get the AP2, and also in the combat phase for Space Wolves, if they roll a 6 to hit, they get another hit. So you can see how they just start racking up massed amount of hits. How these will be getting used is the stratagem's not there anymore in the actual codex, but now you just pay for reinforcements, so I'd be outflanking them. So in this unit, it's just all chainswords, bolt pistols, power fist on this guy, and then I take this wolf pack leader with Thunderhammer Storm Shield. So now he's 3 wounds as well. Storm Shield is a bit different, and so is the Thunderhammer. But Thunderhammer just lost 1 AP, and the Storm Shield goes up to a 4 up in Von, but then it gives a +1 to the armor save. So it still makes them really durable. The addition of Terminators into units and then Marines having 2 wounds, yeah, I don't know. It's a really good. So next up, I got a unit of Primaris Intercessors, and they've all got the auto bolt rifles and then a power fist on this guy as well. So that makes them quite fast running around the board shooting. If you've watched any of my Blood Angel stuff, you'll know why I run them that way, because assault, anything that's trying to get into the assault should have an assault weapon where applicable. They're really good. They've got 2 wounds and stuff, but to be honest now, if these stay the same, I can't see how these will be useful. I can see people wanting to take assault intercessors, but then once again, I would probably still just go for the Blood Claws. You get better options. You know, you can take special weapons in there. You can take the Terminator in there. Yeah, so hopefully GW keeps it the way it is, and our troops choices are going to be absolutely golden. So they're the reasons I've taken them. Bit of variety. As I said, these guys sort of can run and go towards objectives. These guys will sort of hold your midfield, and these guys will be outflanking. Really good troops choices, really versatile now, and going to be really tough. So get some reports in with them and give some feedback, but I can see lots of Grey Hunters coming out in the future. Alright, next up we will go on to the elites, and we'll get on it. Alright guys, into the elite section. We only have 1 of them in this army, which there's a lot of other good choices, but this is the one we've got at the moment. So the Wolf and Dreadnought, taking him with the Fenrisian Great Axe and the Blizzard Shield. So the Fenrisian Great Axe is got a bit of a buff now, which is really nice. First we'll go over a bit of the stats of the Dreadnought though. So it's got a movement of 8, which is really nice. He gets 4 attacks base, like most of it's pretty standard Dreadnought stuff. And he gets weapon skill of 3+. He's got a shitty ballistic skill, but this thing's not here to shoot at anything, so don't stress about that. So the Fenrisian Great Axe is +4 strength, it's AP3, and it's D3 +3 damage, which is really nice now, because it was D6 damage before and it was a bit too meh. Whereas now it's good, so it'll make your strength 10, and obviously you're getting AP3, and you're getting more damage output per hit, which is really nice. So you've got that, and obviously you subtract 1 for the hit rolls, but then on the turn that you charge, you just ignore that, so you'll be hitting on 3s with all these attacks. It gets a second way of using it as well, which is called Scythe, or Scythe, I don't know however you say it. Well, I'm Australian, mate, come on. We just say shit, everything we've taken the English language and just butchered it. It's fantastic. Yeah, so Scythe. Each time an attack is made, make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So pretty much on the charge. 10 attacks at his strength 6, and it's AP 3 and 1 damage. So it gives it really good versatility. If you're running up to a tank and you're trying to bop it on the head, you use the cleave mode. If you're trying to take out a bunch of orcs, you use the Scythe mode. It's, yeah, bloody fantastic. So there's a few things that this guy gets. So obviously Duty Eternal now, which means that he's got one less wound when he gets attacked. Oh, mate, this is yeah. And also, so that helps keep him alive. So Dreadnoughts this edition are bloody fantastic, I think. And then he's got his Blizzard Shield, which gives him a 4-up invulnerable save. So that's pretty insane on a Dreadnought. So he gets a 4-up invuln save and -1 to the damage. So that just means things like, you know, if they have a bunch of Hellblasters unload on him or something, he might be able to save 50% of the shots, and then the ones that go through do 1 less damage. So, you know, they might have overcharged him, but it's still only doing 1 wound. So it's going to really keep him on the battlefield. So, absolute beast when he runs in and does stuff. And his last thing is he's got Murderlust, which means you can re-roll charge rolls made for this unit. So he moves up the board fast. So first turn you'd be running him straight up the board. And then, yeah, next turn, move him 8 and charge him in. Like I said, he can take the hits. He's one of the Dreadnoughts that can take the hits because of his shield and Duty Eternal. So get one of these and love your life. Mate, take 3 of them. It's up to you. All right, we will get on with the fast attack choices. Back in a sec. All right, guys, in the fast attack, I've chosen to go with Thunderwolf Cavalry. I love the models and always have. To be honest, this is one of the things that makes me want to collect Space Wolves, is having these unique, cool models like Space Marines riding giant friggin' werewolves. I don't understand what more you could want. Isn't that not why we come and play this hobby? Rant over. Anyway, stats wise, they've got a movement of 10. They're toughness 5, which is nice. They've got 4 wounds base, which is nice again. Attacks wise, they only get 2 for the rider, for the Space Marine, which is not too bad depending on, you know, how these guys, I've got them armed all with Storm Shields, Lightning Claws, and then the pack leader has a Thunderhammer. Now, there's a good argument now with the Astartes Chainsaw getting the buff that it's just got, to having AP1 and an additional attack, that it could be worth just running these guys just with their shields and chainswords and just running into things and cleaving the absolute shit out of them. But that's not how we're doing it today. So the other part is too, on top of the Space Marine getting to attack off the back, they've sort of divided it. They get Crushing Teeth and Claws, which is each time the bearer fights, it makes 3 additional attacks with this weapon. And it says no more, so it's just 3. And they're +1 strength, AP2 and flat 1 damage. So pretty much you get 3 additional, I would go with Power Axe attacks. It's in the same sort of genre or realm. So that's good. So you get, you know, you got a unit of these guys, that's 15 attacks at strength 5, AP2, flat 1 damage. So it helps clear out hordes, give you some extra attacks, and then you've also got your Space Marine on the back that attacks with his special weapon or chainsword or whatever it is you've given him. Now, as I said, I've given the majority of them, it was a Lightning Claw, but, sorry, it was a Wolf Claw, but I think they're just, from what I can see here now, it's just Lightning Claw is the option. So, you know, Lightning Claw is not too bad. It says each time the bearer fights, make 1 additional attack with this weapon. Each time an attack made, you can re-roll the wound roll. I don't know if that's a typo, because usually it's if you've got 2 Lightning Claws, you make an additional attack. So bear with me on that. I don't know. So that's not bad. So you're getting an extra attack with them. So on the charge, they'll be getting 4 attacks, AP2, and re-rolling the wounds. So that sort of flows in with the Crushing Teeth and Claws. And then obviously the big dog has a Thunderhammer. So that thing's gone to AP2 now, but still flat 3 damage, and he gets the extra attacks on the charge. He'll be getting 4 with his Thunderhammer and +1 to hit, which is good for Space Wolves. So on the turn they charge, he's not worrying about the -1 to hit with it, so it makes him a little bit more accurate. Storm Shields on these guys, I would say now, are probably arguably better, because it gives +1 to their armor save, and then they've got the 4-up invulnerable save. Now, even though the invulnerable save's gotten a little bit worse, I found running these guys a lot that the things that would kill them is just massive amount of small arms fire. So I think now having a 2-up save makes them more durable. So it brings them sort of into a better, I think it's more survivable, but that's my opinion. Obviously they get, the Angels of Death, all that. This, what have we got here? Swift Hunters. Each time this unit makes a pile-in or consolidation move, it can move an additional 1. So that's pretty good. These guys also come under core. So they're kind of like bikes, which is good. So that means that with raggers, these guys are, what's that? A consolidation move of 7 if they're near raggers. So Ragnar, get him up there with him. You'll be giving him the reroll 1s to hit. So on the charge with the lightning claws, you're going to get a full reroll to hit and a full reroll to wound. Same, with the thunder hammer, you're going to get well, you're not going to get the reroll to wound, but it's going to make it more accurate. So that's something to take into account there. It's going to make them really fast in clearing out units and moving forward. I think they've definitely got a buff, and they're going to be staying in my army. So hopefully that helps you. Get some hard-hitting, fast-moving guys riding giant wolves. All right, next up we will go into the heavy support and go over that. All right, guys, last part of the army is the heavy support. And of course, if you're playing Space Wolves, I always say go with things that are unique to your army, and long fangs are. Even though some of their long fanginess has been removed, which I'm not 100% happy about, but that's okay. So the thing I'm talking about is before, what made them different from normal Devastator squads is instead of having the Signum, they were just able to select a unit and re-roll 1s to hit, which I found was much better than just being able to give one unit a +1 to its ballistic skill. But, it's neither here nor there. It's all good. So, we've got 2 units of them. In this army, we've got 1 unit of 5 with 4 heavy bolters, and then we've got a unit of 7. And in the unit of 7, we've got 2 las cannons, 3 rockets, we've got a pack leader, then we've got a Wolfguard Terminator with Wolfclaw, Stormbolter, and Cyclone Missile Launcher. So, let's go over this unit first, which is what I'm thinking is really, really good and good bang for buck. So, Heavy Bolter's just got a huge buff being damage 2. So, they get 3 shots each. Their range 36. Strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. But obviously, if you get them set up in a good position, and at the start of, in a good position, at the start of the game, so they've got good, line of sight. With the heavy doctrine in place, it makes the heavy bolters AP 2. So that means that they're heavy 3, strength 5, it'll be AP 2 and damage 2. That's a really good cheap weapon. Like at 10 points, so it's good. Like you're putting out solid damage there. I'd be happy attacking vehicles with that, attacking heavy infantry. Just bloody let rip on whatever you want. You can put more in the unit if you want as well, but I think heavy bolters are really good moving forward as like a weapon. Before, when they weren't damage 2, it was kind of like with some of the other bolter options that already had AP 1 and stuff, it didn't really differentiate too much, minus the strength. But now with the flat damage 2, it feels like it's a heavy bolter. And it should, because it's a bloody heavy bolter. It should be doing more damage than other bolt weapons. Okay, so on the other side, and the other thing too is they just use normal Signum now, so he just gives one of these guys a, can hit on a +1, but still good. Oh, and the other thing across the board is, as we've gone over several times, everything's got an extra wound. So 2 wounds on these guys, and the Terminator's now 3 wounds. So then if we move over to that one, this is like a full Long Fang squad with the Terminator and all. We've gone with las cannons and rockets. They're pretty straightforward. More staying power with the extra wounds. But I suppose in that unit now, I would probably be using the Signum on the Terminator with the Cyclone Missile Launchers, just because he's got the most amount of shots and is going to put out the most amount of damage. So these guys are pretty good. Round 1, again, if you got them in good line of sight, your las cannons are AP 4, your rockets are AP 3, and all the weapons are D6 damage. So if you're looking to take out vehicles and stuff like that, that's where you want to be going with it. The other thing too now is with missile launchers, I think they got a little bit of a buff, because when you use them in the frag mode, they're a blast weapon now. So if you're shooting at big clumps of things, you can really get out a lot of shot, like, you know, and if it's in the first battle round too, they're going to be AP1 because it still counts as heavy D6. So say there's a unit of 30 orcs or something like that, and then you've got, you know, 5 rocket shots. Well, that's 30 at strength 4 AP1. You got a good chance of clearing out half that unit of orcs, like, easily. So good. That's not direct math, Hammer, anyway, for anyone out there that's got their fucking calculator out. Just chill out. Put it down, Brad. Put the calculator down. But there you go. So these are just the fire support. I think every army should have it, and I've taken them because they're unique to Space Wolves. Everything in this army is pretty much unique to Space Wolves, minus 1 unit of Primaris Intercessors. And as we said before, they're probably going to go and the Grey Hunters are going to come out. So that's the army. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. We are waiting for the release, so until that comes out, this is all relevant. When that comes out, GW could completely smoke it. Everything could be Primaris, and who knows. Me personally, I'm hoping that they let armies keep their uniqueness. Like Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Space Wolves, or even Grey Knights, are those really elite, unique Blood Angels armies. And I like it that way. There's a reason you play them. It gives a bit of differentiation. If we all just have them exactly the same, well, yeah, there's no point. So there you have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And these guys will be coming up in the next battle report to test out if all that crap I just said is got any substance to it. Alright guys, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, wherever it is, and stay safe out there. We'll talk soon.